Greetings, fellow time travelers. Welcome back to Ancient Mystery, where we unlock the sealed doors of history and reveal secrets that have been buried beneath the sands for millennia. I'm your archaeological guide, and today we're about to embark on a mind-blowing journey into one of history's greatest mysteries. Picture this. Over 4,500 years ago, in the scorching heart of the Egyptian desert on the Giza plateau, one of humanity's most incredible legends was born. His name? Khufu, or as the ancient Greeks called him, Cheops. But here's what will blow your mind. Most people only know Khufu as the builder of the Great Pyramid. But who was the man behind this eternal monument? Was he a ruthless tyrant, as some ancient stories claim? Or was he a visionary genius who orchestrated a project that touches immortality itself? Today, we're diving deep into the life of this enigmatic pharaoh, from his childhood in the royal palace to his death, and how he managed to unite absolute power and lead an architectural revolution that has never been matched. Before we unveil these incredible secrets, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Trust me, you don't want to miss the ancient mysteries we're about to reveal. Let's begin our journey. Fellow explorers, imagine being born into a world where you're not just a prince, you're considered a living god on earth. This was Khufu's reality. Khufu entered the world during the reign of his father, King Sneferu, a ruler who didn't just build his power with stones and pyramids, but through brilliant politics and an iron grip on Egypt's elite. Young Khufu grew up inside the sealed walls of the royal palace, in an environment completely dominated by the court and the central state institutions. But here's the fascinating part. Every single detail of his life was controlled by strict rules. Every step was calculated with precision. Why? Because the ruling family presented their children as miniature versions of the gods on earth. From the moment of his birth, the young prince was subjected to a rigorous system of royal education. He learned reading and writing through hieroglyphics, those sacred symbols that held the secrets of the universe. He trained in mathematics and geometric surveying, sciences that were directly linked to managing agricultural lands and controlling massive construction projects. Can you see where this is going? These skills would later show their impact in his life's greatest project, the Great Pyramid itself. Now, let's talk about Sneferu, because understanding the father is key to understanding the son. Sneferu wasn't just the founder of the Fourth Dynasty. He was a mastermind who realized that a state's power doesn't only rest on military might or economic strength, it rests on ideology. He presented himself as a just king, close to his people. He encouraged temple construction and launched distant trade expeditions to Phoenicia, Nubia, and Sinai. But pay attention to this incredible detail. Sneferu built 3 massive pyramids: the Bent Pyramid, the Red Pyramid at Dashur, and the Pyramid at Meidum. These architectural experiments were Egypt's testing ground for developing stone construction techniques. They paved the way for pyramid engineering to reach perfection during Khufu's time. Young Khufu grew up watching Egypt defy the laws of nature. He saw how massive dreams became reality on the sands. This vision planted the seed of immortality in his mind and prepared him to think about a project that would surpass everything his father had done. But the story gets even more intriguing. Khufu's mother was Queen Hetepheres I, a woman who held tremendous status at court and possibly had clear influence over her son's upbringing and preparation for the throne. Archaeological discoveries at Giza, like Hetepheres' tomb, containing luxurious royal furniture made of gold and precious stones, reveal the sophisticated royal environment in which Khufu grew up. Here's what's absolutely fascinating. The son of a king didn't live an ordinary life. From childhood, he was being prepared to lead an empire. In his early years, Khufu accompanied his father on some campaigns and supervised royal projects, as was customary in training princes. Inside the palace, interaction with nobles and priests was inevitable. Egypt at that time was ruled by a vast ruling class consisting of high officials, army commanders, regional governors, plus priests who possessed enormous spiritual and social influence. This environment, filled with political competition, taught Khufu an early lesson. A king must be firm and allow no one to compete with him for power. Fellow time detectives, now comes one of history's most critical moments. King Sneferu passed away after a long reign, leaving behind a unified, powerful and wealthy Egypt filled with grand projects. With his departure, the flame of rule passed to his son Khufu, who had been prepared for years to assume the throne. But here's the mystery that baffled historians. Even though the transfer of power in ancient Egypt appeared smooth on the surface, thanks to the sanctity of kingship and its heredity, it was never free from tensions behind palace walls. Family rivalries were part of the nature of royal rule, especially with the presence of other sons of Sneferu, some of whom held important positions during his reign. Perhaps they felt they also had a right to the throne. Yet Khufu managed to ascend the throne without any recorded bloody conflict or clear internal rebellion. What does this tell us? The inheritance process occurred according to a precisely calculated system, and the strongest support for Khufu came from a triple alliance within the state: the military establishment, senior administration officials, and high priests. Now, pay close attention to this brilliant strategy. From the very first moment of his rule, Khufu was determined to send a clear political message. Absolute power must be concentrated in the pharaoh's hands alone. To achieve this, he reorganized the royal court in a way that reflected his vision of governance. He made changes to sensitive positions, removed some of his father's men whose loyalties were, questionable, and appointed people he trusted instead, including members of his immediate family. One of the most powerful figures who emerged at the beginning of his reign was his mother, Queen Hetepheres, who played an important role in supporting the throne's transition. It's believed she supervised some royal palace affairs even after Khufu sat on the throne, demonstrating the ruling family's stability. But here's where it gets really interesting. Khufu focused on tightening control over distant regions. He knew that regional governors could become a threat if they acquired excessive power. So he subjected them to strict monitoring by sending royal inspectors to audit their administrative and financial activities. And now, fellow explorers, we reach something truly extraordinary. Khufu understood early on that the religious institution couldn't be left without oversight. So he worked to reduce the influence of independent priests while enhancing worship of the king himself as a representative of the god Ra on earth. Gradually, the official doctrine transformed to place the pharaoh at the center of the religious universe, which weakened the position of traditional priests and placed them under palace domination. Khufu didn't engage in direct confrontation with them. He used a clever strategy to control religion instead of opposing it. This is genius-level political maneuvering, ancient seekers. He also showed a clear ability to control the economy to serve his rule. He issued decrees to reorganize the tax system and direct it towards state projects. This allowed him to expand grain storage and reserves of livestock and minerals under direct royal military administration. Here's where our story takes an absolutely mind-blowing turn. When Khufu fully established his rule during his first years on the throne, he began thinking about his life's greatest project, building a monument unlike anything the Egyptians or anyone else had ever built before. A project that would immortalize his name forever and place him at a rank higher than his father Sneferu. But the perplexing question that archaeologists still debate today is, how did he conceive such an impossible vision? Remember those 3 pyramids his father built? Well, Khufu looked at them and thought, I can do better, much better. The Great Pyramid, using over 2,300,000 stones, each weighing an average of 2.5 tons. If we wanted to build a similar pyramid today with modern techniques, experts estimate it would take decades and billions of dollars. But here's what will absolutely amaze you. They did it over 4,000 years ago, without modern machinery, without computers, without the technology we have today. So, how did he do it? Let's break down this incredible mystery. Khufu didn't just dream big. He created a comprehensive system that linked economic power directly to military force, and then directed both toward this singular goal. He made the army a strategic partner in his authority, tying military power and the economy directly to the throne. This connection between wealth and military power would become a fundamental pillar for the Great Pyramid project. It wasn't just about moving stones. It was about organizing an entire nation toward one unified vision. Recent archaeological discoveries have revealed something incredible about the workers who built the pyramid. Contrary to the old myth of slave labor, evidence suggests these were skilled workers who were well fed, had medical care, and took pride in their work. They weren't slaves. They were professionals participating in what they believed was a divine